Welcome back to a podcast not like the rest, where we deliver nothing but savaged and uncut content.
Where did I go?
From a loft-style studio in Tampa, brings a show so raw and uncut we mean.
No filter on savaged, unfiltered, savaged.
Hey guys, what is up? What is up, guys? We got a wild roller coaster of a show here. Guys, what's going on with the Trump administration? Getting a lot of heat from these protesters all over the country. Atlanta, I see, Miami, Florida, New York, a couple of cities in New Jersey. I noticed Detroit earlier this week. Chicago. Joe, are they just showing up, or are they paid? I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot of them are getting paid. That and or they've got nothing going on in their life. How about get a job? How about earn your living instead of protesting government handout cuts? And it's the usual lies, too. There are no cuts to Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid to U.S. citizens who legally are entitled to them. Well, Social Security and Medicare, anyway. We pay into those. Those are entitlements. It is the fraud that's being cut. But a lot of these people are probably in on the fraud.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Either
absolutely.
that or those who, of course, vote Democrat for a limit want the fraud because those are other fellow Democrat voters. It's a form of vote buying. So, yeah, when the fraud Apple Card is upset, they show, do they demonstrate for poor schools? No. Right? You don't see them out there. Ever since the Department of Education was created illegally, improperly, unconstitutionally at the federal level, federal dictates. They claim to be anti-fascist, but they're supporting a fascist, top-down, dictatorial department dictating education. That was a states' rights under the 10th Amendment issue. But they support the fascism and the federal edicts and dictates, but call everybody else fascist. Were they out there protesting that our education scores keep going down and down and down? We are ranked at the bottom of education in industrialized nations now, when before we were near the top. Do they protest the Department of Education clearly causing the dumbing down of America? No, but they want to protest the elimination of it and returning to the states back to actual constitutional government. It's very telling. They don't care about the kids. They just care about, the bureaucrats. And
you know what they care about, Joe?
Scamming off it.
You know what they care about? Most of these protesters, I've been noticing and picking up some of their body language and some of their rhetoric. All they care about is publicity. They don't care about the cause. They don't care about what we're mentioning here on the show. They care about getting in front of a camera and just spewing just nonsense. They'll spew it to the high heavens, and they'll make sure they spew it so high of a level that the camera's right in front of them, because even a minute or 2 minutes, Joe, that's seen all over the world. That's seen all over social media. What does that do? That drives wedge. That drives edge. That drives divide. That drives chaos. That drives all that stuff that they so crave for, because they want that publicity, Joe. These are
Ye-
paid pundits of the left that are not for message. They're not for cause. They don't care about what happens as long as they get their little 5 minutes of fame. That's all it is, Joe. The
Yeah.
protesting today is so much different than it was in the 60s. At least in the 60s and 70s, there was a message back then. People understood each other back then. There was things that actually got done through protesting. Nothing gets done through protesting today besides chaos and destruction.
Yeah, well, to tie it back to the education, right? The dumbing down of America, peddling esteem over substance. We're dealing with a bunch of people who are high on themselves and clueless to how stupid they are. They are, like you said, get in front of, they are eager to show how dumb they are to the world by getting on camera and displaying their lack of understanding of anything.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And what are they calling this thing? They're calling it hands. What is it? Hands
Off.
off. Hands
Yeah.
off. With I'm looking at some of this, right? Hands off. New York City, Boston, Denver, Minneapolis, Buffalo, New York, Washington D.C., Chicago, Detroit, including parts of downtown Miami.
Hands off their fraud gravy train. That's the bottom line. People who are on a gravy train of fraudulent spending, waste, fraud, and abuse, unconstitutional spending, they're addicted to it. They're in one way, shape, or form either getting it directly or know someone who is, so they just want the fraud gravy train to continue. They're out there defending fraudulent spending.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's going to continue, Joe. It really is. It's going to it's going to continue until things get worse. You know, I mentioned this on Marlon's Space the other day on American X Live, which is a huge Twitter X panel. So hat tip to Marlon and everyone over there at America First and We the People movement there. Appreciate the hell out of you, Marlon. Had a good amount of people there in the space the other day, Joe, about a good 3,000 of us. And we were discussing the protests. We were discussing the movement, the true movement behind this, because all it is, Joe, is a co-op, a distraction from what they plan on doing. And are we going to see another 2016 scenario of their attacks on Trump? I think we are, Joe. I think we are.
Yeah, well, if they had productive things to do with their life, if only. That's right. We're not out there all the time whining. Yes, we have protests and marches and whatnot at times too, but we don't burn shit down. We're not out there beating up people. Again, it goes back to they literally have 28 planks of the National Socialist Deutschland Arbeiter Party platform in their platform. That's why they call everyone else Nazis, as deflection. And they further prove, like Hitler's brown shirts or El Duce's black shirts, they're out there what? Burning, looting, rioting, murdering. We peacefully protest, they burn shit down and attack people.
Yeah. Well, we'll get this, Joe. The protests, it's not ending anytime soon. Just reported just the other day on Alex Jones, InfoWars. He's saying that the group behind this massive hands-off protest is now calling for another protest on April 19th, which is actually next week. And social media posts, what he wrote here, the group stated that they want 3.5% of the U.S. population, more than 11 million people to participate. That's what the radical left, Joe, is calling for. They're calling for millions upon millions of people to get involved here to put a stand against Donald Trump and Elon Musk. This is insane, Joe. Really
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Now, I want to play a video here of what they are actually demanding here. This is insane. Check this video out, guys. Oh my God.
Here's a live look at Boston, Massachusetts now as we check back in on one of our top stories, anti-Trump protests taking place across the country today after a tumultuous week, to say the least.
Good grief.
On Wall Street and the economy. We want to point out, just a few minutes ago, we did show you a protest. We said it was Boston. It was not Boston.
Imagine if all those people would
protest,
actually
but what
try
you are
to do
looking at
something
right now
productive.
is Boston, and I'm from there. I can recognize this. This is the plaza right outside of City Hall in downtown.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that, Joe.
Yeah.
Look at the people there. Those aren't true supporters of this cause. They're being paid again. They're being paid by Soros-backed organizations and
In
other people.
One way, shape, or form. Again, if you put yourself to something productive, all those people who the Democrats like to pretend to care about the poor. Imagine if you low-life sons of bitches actually got together and bought things to help feed the poor, what you could have accomplished that day rather than the zero you did.
Yeah.
They put all their efforts into whining, moaning, complaining, getting something actually done. They never actually do anything positive.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to play another video here shortly with you, Joe. People just, calling out other stuff, right? Here's another one kind of trending on X, right? Coming out of Oregon GOP. Hands off our wells. Now, a public hearing was set in that area, and they're calling for your voice. And this is a woman from the Oregon Republican GOP, right? Republican Party, basically just kind of, I guess, more or less citing her views, Joe. Do you have any comments on that before we kind of plug that in? Because it's an interesting one.
Yeah. Another example of productive versus they're protesting the elimination of U.S. aid and stupid shit like condoms to the Congo. Now, I say that because, they both begin with C. That's not really where they were going. That's not the fucking point. The point is you don't want contraception in the U.S. because you want pregnancies so you can kill the babies for profit through Planned Parenthood, which funds your campaigns. But if, let's say, you actually really cared about the people in Congo and wanted to give them condoms, go door to door and raise funds to do that voluntarily, a private charity. No, you don't do that. You won't do that. You only want these fraud programs that you're laundering money back to yourselves through by stealing from taxpayers. Start a charity, raise your own dollars, do what the fuck you want voluntarily. Again, they don't, they won't, they want to steal from everybody for these fraud programs.
Hi everyone, this is Angela Plowhead. I'm coming to you today about Senate Bill 1154. I'm not standing in front of the Capitol today, I'm standing in front of my house. And this is my well house, where the water that services my home and my family comes from. When something happens to my well, just like every other rural Oregonian or many farms in this state, we don't call on city services to come fix these things. We have to fix them ourselves at our own expense. But yet, the government of Oregon, our governor, or some of our legislators are trying to push through a bill that not only makes it so that the $12,000 that I've put into this well for the last 7 years is not only going to be taxed, but they want to have the right to come onto my property, private property, without permission to regulate my well.
Wow, I got to pause it right there. $12,000, Joe. It costs $12,000. I wasn't aware of that.
That's a lot. But again, this is part of the point too. I've mentioned it on this show. Certain counties in Oregon are trying to secede and join Idaho. Same with some in Washington state, because the major population centers in those two states are all commie fasci sociis controlled. And it's like I re-aired the episode me, you, and Sadia were talking about Norton v. Shelby. And Sadia was defending the federal EPA, even though each state has their own EPA. And I was talking about the application of Norton v. Shelby, the EPA's overreach. They want to use the Treaty of the Sea, kind of like this woman is alluding to, as a cudgel to say they can regulate water on your property. No, you do not have that authority. Keep your fucking ass and hands and off our property and out of our fucking wallets.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I disagreed with Sadia all those, months and months and months ago. I mean, going back to season 5 of the show. She seems to be behind the EPA. And I mean, it's expected, Joe. I mean, she's, not only a comedian, but she's also an entertainer. And most entertainers have to back a lot of, sadly, leftist type of organizations. You know what I mean?
And again, the EPA was created under Nixon, a Republican president. It wasn't like the Department of Education under Carter, which was a payback to the teachers' unions that got him elected. The EPA, like the FBI and so many agencies, started off as a sound principle. Each state has its own EPA, but what about the air that goes from Indiana into Ohio and from Ohio into Pennsylvania? So there is a reasonable need for a federal level to handle interstate disputes. That's it. They go way beyond their authority, like this woman is talking about. And that is the point. That is the problem.
They're essentially saying that they get eminent domain without any legal recourse to the homeowner or the business owner for wells that they have absolutely no business regulating. So this is something that is going to harm not only rural Oregonians, but it's going to harm our agricultural businesses to an extreme extent. So we have to stand up and say, keep your hands off our water, keep our hands off of our private property, and come together and tell Oregon government officials that they need to stay in their lane.
Yeah.
Join with me against Senate Bill 1154.
Yeah. Real quick, Joe. I mean, you want to talk about keep your hands off my damn water, right? Let's start that, right? Like, do the whole back to the future. Keep your damn hands off my stuff, right? Instead of keep your damn hands off of her. Yeah.
That's the point. Oregon state officials are leftists because the main population centers are leftists. They elect leftists and they do what? Fascistically push their will upon the rural parts of the state. They don't care about private property. They are collectivists. They are commie fasci socis. They believe your property belongs to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it is, Joe. That's what it is. I got a video here, Joe, of an actual protester.
My screen's acting up. See
it is.
There?
Yeah, it's like you're going crazy again. No, Joe, I have a video here of an actual protester, right, that participated in the hands off movement. This is
hands off my fraud
protesters at the April 5th liberal protests. And so I just wanted to come on and talk about my experience, what I had to do to get paid, and how much I paid. So,
hold on. Let's rewind.
The April 5th liberal protests. And so I just wanted to come on and talk about my experience, what I had to do to get paid.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's
And
play it
if they're
again.
not,
Listen to it again. I want you to understand this.
Protests. And so I just wanted to come on and talk about my experience, what I had to do to get paid. And
what she had to do to get paid, Joe.
And if it's not physical payment, it's what? Students on liberal campuses being promised by liberal professors that we'll give you an A in our class. You won't even have to show up for class anymore as long as you can prove to me you protested.
Listen to more of her.
That's
Joe.
a form of
example,
payment.
If she's in an abusive situation or whatever, she can't really leave, especially if she has kids. She doesn't really have the means to take care of them, and she doesn't have the experience to get a job that could afford to take care of them. So it just gives the men a lot more control to kind of do what they want her to do, basically. Yep. So that was my answer for the first one, and I got that right. But there were some that I just didn't really know what they would consider a right answer,
Lulu.
So I just asked, I was like, what do I do if I don't know how to answer this?
You don't know how to answer it? Are you stupid?
Just do your best and then come talk to her at the end. So for example, there's one. No,
she cannot think for herself.
Look, the face expresses it. Clueless.
What? And to a degree, right? You're going to pay me. Well, what are you paying me to say? So in this case, I don't entirely blame this person. I don't know what to say. You're paying me. What do you want to pay me to say? But indeed, this goes back to education. This person is clueless. They are incapable of thinking for themselves. Even if they don't believe what they're out there to protest for, she doesn't have the brain capacity to think up a lie to tell. Tell me what to parrot. She is a sheeple. She is a parrot.
What is critical race theory, and why should it be taught, and what's an example of something that you could learn from it?
It's like talking to the Clueless Nation crowd.
Hi, Clueless Nation. So I just asked her about that one, and the answer that she gave is basically they just want people to understand the lasting.
I gotta say, I'm surrounding myself too much with liberals. I'm even talking like her sometimes. She's good grief. Joe, you gotta listen to her. I'm gonna plug a little bit more here, but this is a typical left-wing delusional idiot.
Example, but yeah, that was kind of her answer to that question. So I wrote that down. And yeah, I got paid. I got paid $100 for going to the protest.
What?
And then I got paid an extra $10 for bringing the sign.
Oh, wow, $110. Great. Oh, you brought your ridiculous, stupid rhetoric. Was that another 50? You stayed in a Democratic hotel in that city that protests. Right. Was that another $20? I mean, come on.
This is the kind of idiot that Johnny of Jesse Waters' primetime show makes his living on, being out there with a microphone, sticking it in stupid people's faces like this.
Yeah.
And they're
see, folks,
don't know anything.
See, leftist America, you think we're making this up. This is an actual woman admitting that she got paid. We all know that they get paid, but listen to more of this, and then we'll have fun basically exposing the left's idiocy here.
If you want me to talk about the other questions, let me know if you have any questions. And then I think people got different questions on that questionnaire, so let me know what your questions were, and did you get them right? Did you get them wrong?
All right, I'm gonna toss this woman. This is an idiot. She really is.
Yeah, no,
she's a complete moron.
There's an important point here again, back to education. They want to eliminate tests in school, so the test scores become irrelevant because they keep going down because they don't know anything. They can't pass the test. But yet, this protester was given a test to see, are you smart enough to be able to lie about what you're protesting? Can you pass this test that's not important, but school tests? Oh, let's throw all those out.
Interesting. Interesting, Joe. There was that actual woman here protesting with, actually not protesting, but kind of standing up towards the hands-off movement. I guess she's a proclaimed MAGA
Did
individual.
she lived to tell the tale?
Oh,
Unlike the pro-life person that was interviewing a baby killer on the street,
well,
and the baby killer attacked her because, oh, she couldn't use her words. So, of course, the left, as always, resorts to violence. You see that where the pro-life person was attacked?
oh yeah. Well,
Trying to talk to somebody? Give me your side of the abortion issue. They can't articulate it. They have to resort to violence.
well, Joe. This is exactly when protests go wrong and the left doesn't get their way. Check this out.
What's going on?
Damn. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's an angry woman. Good grief.
Wow.
Wow.
And that was just a slap. That wasn't a punch. Like, the pro-life woman literally was attacked and punched and again, burning, looting, rioting, destruction of property, and harming people. That is the left. That's
She's
not
pissed.
today's left. That is the left always, from slavery to segregation to trying to put down civil rights, peaceful protests. The left always has been violent. Look at they killed Lincoln, they killed Kennedy, they killed MLK Jr., they killed Malcolm X, they killed Robert Kennedy Jr.'s father. They are violent, murderous people.
This video that I took off of X here comes from Low Dropper for Jesus. Now, the title of the video says, "A MAGA lady tried to interrupt the hands-off protest and got dealt with. He ain't do nothing if y'all ask me." More fucking ebonics.
No, and that's like,
was this woman MAGA? Do you think she was MAGA? I mean, maybe. Maybe
I don't know.
An angry MAGA supporter that's not standing for the hands-off movement. I mean, she's got a purpose to be there. I mean, don't get me wrong.
We've only got this snippet. I couldn't really make out what she was screaming because she was trying to scream it.
Well,
she didn't have a
let me go back.
microphone or a megaphone. So
yeah, let me go back there. What does that say? What does it say? Laid the weapon. The guy that apparently hits her. He hits her, Joe. I mean, literally knocks her the hell out.
Yeah, I can't quite make out what's on the back of his shirt.
Oh, I am the weapon. There we go. A better shot of it. Yeah.
A violent statement.
Yeah.
Again, proving the point. And it's like the left, the burn murder crowd, the black lying Marxist crowd, which includes a whole lot of white people here. We're not talking about race in this issue. We're talking about Marxists, the buy large mansions crowd that ripped off the money that was supposed to go to help black communities, raising over $100,000 for the black kid that stabbed the white kid at what football game I think it was, right? That's in the news now.
Oh yeah.
He stabbed the kid to death. They are, of course, defending the murderer just because of his skin tone.
Yeah.
I am not going to oppose or support, because we believe in Martin Luther King Jr.'s message, content of character. Doesn't matter what the fuck your skin tone is, black, white, or any shade in between. What is your character? I'm not defending. It's like these defending the Menendez brothers. Let out the white murderers. I'm not saying, oh yeah, let's let them out of the prison just because they're white. No, they're murderers. They should stay behind bars. That is called being principled and dealing with content of character, not skin tone.
Yeah.
To feign racism, to find and claim victimhood. When you want to claim victimhood, it's easy to find it around every corner.
Oh, absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. And the thing is, with what we're discussing here on the program here, as we're going to close it out here shortly, this is the character of the left. They make us out to be extremists when, a clear example of a gentleman wearing a shirt saying, "I am the weapon," and then going up to that woman
and assaulting someone.
Exactly. Supposedly of a MAGA supporter, that woman, and shouting out her message and her concerns. He goes up there, you would think politely asking her, "All right, ma'am, you're getting a little rowdy. Let's walk off stage and talk about it." No, doesn't talk about it. Doesn't walk her off stage. Just knocks her the fuck out. That's insane.
And let me go back to what I said earlier. Does this moron who assaulted someone defending fraud know? And he's probably out keying Teslas. He's probably out calling. He probably, if have the chance, call her a Nazi, right? Does that moron make calling everyone else a Nazi? No. And can look up for himself, but will not. There are 28 planks of the National Socialist Deutschland Arbeiter Party, the Nazi Socios, later then coined as fascists, in his fucking party's platform. Does he know that? No. Does he care? No. Will he ever educate himself? Fuck no. Because it's all about his feelings.
It is all about his feelings. Guys, before we close out, I want to give a good shout out to a really, really awesome supporter here of the show just recently. I want to say thank you to Mammoth Nation. That's right, guys. There's not a lot of guys like Trump who can literally stand up under fire and say fight. Stand with Trump and American First Republicans by joining Mammoth Nation today, guys. Head over to mammothnation.com and say you heard it on the Savage Unfiltered show, and they're going to give you 20% off your membership for trying them out today. Thank you very much, Mammoth Nation, for checking us out. We have a special video package that we took actually from them, guys, from Mammoth Nation. Check this out.
There's not a lot of guys like this. An ability literally under fire to stand up and say, fight. It was inspirational.
We need more great leaders who are willing to stand up to permanent Washington, and we're ardent supporters of that here at Mammoth Nation.
Shop, save, and fight for America. Use this promo code to save 30%.
That's right, guys. Hold on, Joe. Before we do that, become a member today, okay? And use this other promo code, SAVEUSA. In that promo at mammothnation.com, you're going to get 30% off your membership at Mammoth Nation. I'm a true supporter of Mammoth Nation and a member myself. So join today.
I too, I am a life member. I joined Mammoth Nation right when they were created. I am a life member. You can find my Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You book under Mammoth Nation Publications and get the promo code to get a discount on my book through Mammoth Nation. Yeah. And obviously, Mike, you need to get Shotcasters up there.
We're working on it. We're working on it. We only became a true member of Mammoth Nation just the other day, and obviously now they are, partnering with the show here through our coding and stuff. So the coding will be in there, guys. Look out for that in future episodes. But I want to say thank you much. Hat tip to Mammoth Nation. Great organization.
Yeah, there's Mammoth Nation. There's a Linus app. And there's another one I forget that I'm a member of also. All conservative organizations where conservatives, it's like Rich of Big and Rich, right? He also helped with others form a new bank where conservatives can go, because like up in Canada, right? They were debanked. You stand up against the government, that's why Rich of Big and Rich, no, that is him, right? Who also does the redneck whiskey or whatever. But yeah, so you have a bank that stands for your values, will not deplatform you because, maybe you bought a gun. That the government then, of course, wants to force the bank to tell them you bought a gun, or you bought my book, or you bought Michael's book. They want to track that shit. That bank won't do that. They won't hand over that information. The government has no fucking business knowing your private banking interactions, unless if you're engaging in crime or fraud.
Absolutely. And like I mentioned this on Marlin Space just actually earlier today. Guys, I'm going to close out with this message here relating to these protests of hands off. You know what I'm going to say, leftist America? Hands off the rhetoric. Hands off the violence. Hands off the dangerous dialogue. And hands off the ridiculous crap that you're doing to America. Because you want to start a movement with hands off all that. And guess what? The other movement that you started that failed, that we will not be silent anymore, that silent riot crap, that's what led up to these protests. Now I understand. I'm playing the puzzles and I'm putting them leftist America, I'm 3 steps ahead of you, including Joe. That's the silent riots that they were talking about, Joe. We will not be silent anymore. Yeah. Guess what? We want you to be silent because we want you to shut the fuck up, and we're tired of fucking hearing your stupid shit.
Yeah, here's a hands off for you. How about hands off our fucking republic? We are a constitutionally limited republic, not an ineptocracy, mobocracy, or kleptocracy. Your change has been doing, right? Go to savagearmy.com. Get your roar mug. Restore our American republic. Fuck off. Hands off our republic. If you want to be a communist, go fucking move to one of those shithole countries. Don't turn us in to those shithole countries.
That's right, guys. If you go on over to savagearmy.com, pick up the Roar mug. Also pick up this mug as well, too. Awake, not woke. Are you fed up with woke shit like me? I'm fed up. Joe's fed up, too. All of America's fed up. Scan the QR code today.
Not coincidental that Awake Not Woke is on a coffee mug, right? Coffee help you get awake in the morning. So
I'm awake. I'm awake. So, guys, as we close it up, I want to say thank you very much for joining us here on the program, on the episode here. I also want to say thank you to a previous guest we had on, David Fraden. Hey! Ding, 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 ding.
Right. Yes, you actually pronounced his name right.
Check out that episode. It's available on Spotify, iHeart, countless other platforms, and everything that goes that way, including our Rumble feed, guys. Trying to get that Rumble feed up. Noticing it's kind of struggling a little bit with the views, but the damn Spotify is doing phenomenal. I want to thank Spotify, but I'll turn over to Rumble.
For some reason, I'm getting a lot more traction on BitChute than I am Brighteon, Rumble, YouTube, or even Daily Motion in France. So shout out to my BitChute crew over there. But yeah, I'm trying to get my Rumble channel up. Again, I don't get why people don't want to see video. You see the interaction, you see the body language, you see how we work together as opposed to just hearing the audio. You're missing a lot if you're not seeing the videos. Plus, hey, thank you, Michael. You put up the QR code, right? You're not seeing the QR codes on the audio. You can scan them direct from the video.
That's right, guys. And if you're wanting to see some more here of Joe, check out our partnered show here that's aligned with Savage Unfiltered, Constitutionalist Politics podcast featuring Joseph M. Leonard, the author and activist himself. And I'm just going to warn you guys, I'm not trying to scare you off. Joe's a little bit more PG than I am, but he delivers the content that needs to be aired. So check out the show, guys. Constitutionalist Politics. Scan the QR code.
Except for a couple episodes. The Am I the Ass game episode. That's kind of PG-13. And like I did say before, I re-aired the Norton v. Shelby show, which was I borrowed from us talking with Sadia about that as part of that show. So that show is kind of rated R because, yeah, I let loose, as does Michael here on Savage Unfiltered. Normally my show is rated G, but there are 3 shows that are at least PG-13 over there.
She told me, Joe, she's like, I'm not coming on Savage Unfiltered unless you pay SAG money. I'm not paying SAG money. I'm not having any involvement with a company or organization that has gone full woke and full SAG is woke. That's why I'm not a SAG member, guys. I am probably like one of the fewest entertainers, podcasters out there that is not aligned with this company. I do not support SAG. I do not wish them anything best in the future for them. I can't stand the company. They are a disgusting company. They are, Joe.
Well, they're a union. The Screen Actors Guild union. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Sadia. I'd love to have you back on, but I'm not paying your disgusting union. I'm not going to do it. You can come on. I'll pay you through sources of views to get you out there. But you know, Joe's like, hey, slip some over to my way. No, we that's just the way of it, Joe. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean, I just don't want any affiliation with that company. It's a disgusting company. It really is. But guys,
I get you. But most are involved in it just for because some places other SAG members will only then hire other SAG members, right? That's part of the whole union kind of communism deal, right? I pat your,
I see what you're saying.
It's not free market. I'm for free markets.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Joe. But other than that, guys, appreciate you for coming on the show today. I really do.
Yeah, we went a lot longer than we were planning for this episode, but that's okay. I got to get out and get something for dinner now, though.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, take it easy, and till next time. Thank you very much for joining us. It means a lot, guys. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. I really do.
This had been a Truth Productions media episode. Thank you for listening.